Ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest. The real reason you are wasting your life is not because of the circumstances around you, not because of the people who hurt you, not because of the system or the family you were born into. The truth is, you are wasting your life because you keep giving yourself permission to settle. You keep choosing excuses over execution. You keep waiting for the perfect moment instead of creating the moment with what you already have. You know deep down inside what you are capable of. You hear the voice in your heart that says, you are meant for more, but you drown it out with distractions. Hours lost scrolling, days wasted complaining, years spent waiting for someone to hand you an opportunity. And while you wait, life does not pause. Life keeps moving. Time does not wait for you to get serious. Every second you waste, you never get back. The real reason you are wasting your life is because you've convinced yourself that tomorrow will always come, that you will have another chance, another day, another opportunity. But tomorrow is not promised. Too many people are lying in the graveyard right now, with dreams they never lived, books they never wrote, businesses they never built, families they never nurtured, because they kept saying, I'll start tomorrow. You are not wasting your life because you don't have talent. You are not wasting your life because you don't have resources. You are wasting your life because you are afraid to fail. You're afraid of what people will say, afraid of looking foolish, afraid of not being good enough. And so instead of trying, you do nothing. Instead of falling forward, you stand still, and nothing changes. But hear me carefully. The clock is still ticking. The gift of life is still in your hands. As long as you're breathing, you have the power to stop wasting time, to stop wasting opportunities, to stop wasting the calling that was placed inside you. The real reason you are wasting your life is because you have forgotten who you are. You have forgotten the strength that was given to you, the fire that burns inside you, the greatness that is waiting to be unleashed. The truth is, most people waste their lives not because they lack talent, not because the world is unfair, and not because opportunities never come. They waste their lives because they keep choosing excuses over execution. Every time you say, I can't because I don't have money, or I can't because I don't have the right connections, or I can't because the timing isn't perfect, you are allowing an excuse to bury the dream that was given to you. Excuses are easy. They make you feel safe. They give you permission to stay in your comfort zone, to remain where nothing is demanded of you, where nothing challenges you, and where nothing forces you to grow. But comfort is the greatest enemy of progress, and execution action, moving forward even when you are afraid, is the only cure. Think about how many times you have delayed starting something because of an excuse. You told yourself you would begin when the new year starts, or when you have more savings, or when people finally support you. But those days never come. The more you wait for the perfect moment, the more you realize it does not exist. The perfect moment is a myth. The only perfect time is now. And the reason so many people waste their lives is because they keep believing in the lie of later. They keep rehearsing the same excuses year after year, never realizing that every excuse steals a piece of their future. Execution is where transformation happens. It is not about having everything figured out. It is about starting with what you have and learning as you go. Too many people get stuck in overthinking, trying to plan every detail before they take the first step. But greatness is not born out of planning forever. Greatness is born out of action. The one who executes, even with mistakes, will always be ahead of the one who just thinks dreams and talks about what they will do someday. Talk is cheap. Excuses are cheap. Action is priceless. When you choose excuses over execution, you build a habit of losing. Every time you tell yourself you cannot do it, every time you delay, every time you justify why you are not moving, you are teaching your mind to accept failure without even trying. And the more you accept excuses, the weaker your will becomes. On the other hand, when you choose execution, even in small steps, you create momentum. Momentum is powerful. A small action today leads to bigger actions tomorrow. But that only happens when you refuse to let excuses dictate your behavior. The difference between people who live fully and people who waste their lives comes down to choices. The doers execute. They wake up and move, even if they don't feel like it. They don't wait for motivation. They act first, and the motivation follows. They don't wait for everything to line up perfectly. They take the step and trust that the rest will align in the process. The ones who waste their lives are those who keep telling themselves stories about why they can't. They keep writing chapters filled with excuses instead of results. You have to ask yourself, how many more times will you give an excuse the power to control your destiny? How many more days will you spend convincing yourself that you can't, instead of proving that you can? Excuses will always sound convincing. They will always sound reasonable. But they will never take you where you are meant to go. Execution is the only bridge between where you are and where you want to be. If you want to stop wasting your life, you must stop feeding yourself excuses and start feeding your future with action. Distractions are the silent killers of dreams. They don't show up loudly or violently. They sneak into your life quietly and steal your time piece by piece, until you look back and realize years have gone by with nothing to show for it. The truth is, time is the most valuable currency you will ever have. You can lose money and earn it back. You can lose possessions and replace them, but the time you waste can never be recovered. Yet, distractions convince you that wasting just a little here and a little there is harmless, until one day you wake up and realize that what could have been built has been lost to endless scrolling, gossip, procrastination, and habits that add nothing to your future. Distractions are dangerous because they disguise themselves as harmless entertainment, relaxation, or taking a break. But a short break becomes an hour becomes a day, and days become weeks when nothing meaningful gets done. Imagine how much closer you would be to your goals if all the time wasted on distractions was invested into your purpose. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck is not talent or luck. It is focus. The successful learn to say no to distractions. They protect their time like treasure because they know time is life. If you waste your time, you are wasting your life. When you choose distractions over discipline, you are making a trade without realizing it. You are exchanging your dreams for comfort, your vision for instant gratification, your future for the illusion of pleasure in the moment. Distractions rob you quietly because they don't hurt immediately. They don't scream at you that you're wasting your potential. Instead, they numb you, and in that numbness, your hunger for growth dies slowly. You no longer feel urgency to pursue your dreams, because distractions give you just enough satisfaction to keep you from realizing how much you're losing. Think about how many people live glued to their phones, television, or endless noise around them. The hours pass quickly, and yet they complain about not having time to chase their dreams, not realizing that they had the time all along. They just gave it away. Distractions don't just waste your time. They also weaken your focus. When you train your brain to constantly shift from one distraction to another, you destroy your ability to concentrate on deep, meaningful work. And without focus, nothing great can ever be built. The truth is, distractions will always exist. The world will always offer you something easier, faster, more comfortable, and more entertaining than the discipline of building your dream. But greatness requires sacrifice. It requires saying no to what is easy so you can build what will last. Those who master their focus and guard their attention create lives of purpose, while those who give in to distractions waste their lives in regret. Ask yourself, how much of your life has already been lost to meaningless distractions? How many hours that could have been invested into your growth have been poured into things that do not matter? How much longer will you allow distractions to write the story of your life? The truth is, you cannot get rid of all distractions, but you can choose what to give your attention to. If you want to stop wasting your life, you must stop giving your time away so cheaply. You must guard it, protect it, and invest it wisely, because every minute you waste on distractions is a minute you can never get back. The greatest lie people tell themselves is that they will always have more time, that tomorrow will come, that the chance they missed today will return, that opportunities will wait patiently for them. But life does not work that way. Time is a gift, fragile and temporary, and once it slips away, it never comes back. The illusion of tomorrow is what keeps so many people stuck, wasting their lives in delay. They believe they can push their dreams to the side, put off their growth, wait for the right moment, and still somehow expect life to reward them later. Yet tomorrow is not promised to anyone. The only time you truly own is right now. Every day you postpone action, you gamble with your future. You tell yourself you will start working on your dream when the new year begins, when you feel more motivated, when you have more money, or when life slows down. But life never slows down, and those perfect conditions never appear. The people who achieve greatness are not the ones who wait for tomorrow, but the ones who act today despite the obstacles. They know that hesitation kills more dreams than failure ever will. Think about how many people go to their graves with unfinished visions, unwritten books, unspoken words, unfulfilled purposes, all because they kept believing in tomorrow. They lived each day as if they had unlimited time, but the truth is, life can change in an instant. None of us are guaranteed another sunrise. None of us know how much time we truly have, and yet so many waste it, as if they can buy more later. The illusion of tomorrow creates a dangerous comfort zone. It whispers to you that you can always start later, that there's no rush, that you can rest today, because tomorrow you'll be better prepared. But when tomorrow comes, you repeat the same excuses, and days turn into months, months into years, and years into regret. The tragedy is not that people die. The tragedy is that so many never truly live. They delay so long that life passes them, while they are still waiting for the perfect tomorrow. You must wake up to the reality that your time is limited. If there is something in your heart to do, do it now. If there is a dream you carry, step into it today. If there are words you need to speak, speak them before it's too late. Waiting for tomorrow is nothing but a thief of the present. It robs you of the urgency to act and convinces you that you have all the time in the world when in truth, you don't. The people who live fulfilled lives are the ones who treat each day as if it matters, because it does. They value their hours, their minutes, their moments. They don't postpone growth. They don't delay action. They don't let fear or laziness convince them that tomorrow is enough. They move with urgency, with focus, and with gratitude for the gift of today. If you want to stop wasting your life, you must destroy the illusion of tomorrow and embrace the power of now. Because the only day you are guaranteed is this one, and how you use it will define the legacy you leave behind. Fear of failure has stopped more people from living than failure itself ever could. Most lives are wasted not because people tried and fell, but because they never tried at all. Fear whispers in your ear that you are not ready, that you are not good enough, that others will laugh at you, that if you step out and fail, your worth will be diminished. And so you shrink, you hold back, you hide your dreams in silence. But what you don't realize is that fear is not protecting you, it is trapping you. Failure is not the enemy, fear is. Because failure teaches, failure refines, failure builds resilience, but fear robs you of the chance to even begin. So many people wait for the moment when they will feel fearless before they take action. That moment never comes. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is action in spite of fear. The ones who create, who build, who achieve, are not those who had no fear, but those who chose to walk through it. Fear is a liar, and its goal is to keep you standing still. And standing still is where dreams go to die. Every great person you admire has failed, some multiple times. They faced rejection, humiliation, and setbacks. But they didn't let failure define them. They let it shape them, guide them, and push them to greater heights. The difference between the one who succeeds and the one who wastes their life is not talent. It is their relationship with failure. The successful embrace it as part of the journey, while the fearful avoid it, and in doing so, avoid life itself. Imagine the opportunities you have already lost because of fear. The jobs you didn't apply for. The business you didn't start. The relationships you didn't pursue. The ideas you didn't share. All because you let fear decide for you. And now imagine where you would be if you had acted, even with trembling hands, even with shaky steps. You might have failed, yes, but you also might have learned, grown, and discovered strengths you never knew you had. Every step into the unknown is a step toward growth. Every attempt, whether successful or not, brings you closer to who you are meant to be. The truth is, failure is not final unless you quit. Failure is not a label unless you wear it. The pain of trying and not succeeding lasts only a moment. But the pain of never trying can last a lifetime. People spend their entire lives wondering, what if? Because they allowed fear to dictate their choices. But the bold discover, what is? Because they stepped forward and embraced the risk. When you let fear hold you back, you are not just avoiding failure. You are avoiding growth, opportunity, and the possibility of greatness. Life is not about being perfect. It's about being willing. Being willing to take the shot. Being willing to risk embarrassment. Being willing to look foolish in the beginning so that one day you can stand in the fulfillment of your calling. You must decide what is stronger, your fear of failure or your hunger for purpose. If your hunger is strong enough, you will move despite the fear. And once you do, you'll realize that failure is not something to fear at all, but something to welcome as a teacher. Every failure brings wisdom, and every act of courage brings freedom. Stop letting fear keep you still, because the real failure is not falling, it's never trying. You waste your life the moment you forget the power that is already within you. Every person is born with gifts, talents, and a fire that is unique to them, but too many people go through life blind to what they carry. They convince themselves they are ordinary, that greatness belongs to someone else, that success is reserved for the lucky or the chosen. They forget that the same potential they admire in others exists in them as well. The truth is, the reason many never rise is not because they lack ability, but because they have forgotten their own. From a young age, society teaches you to compare yourself, to measure your worth by what others are doing, earning, or achieving. And with every comparison, your belief in yourself grows weaker. Instead of focusing on your unique strengths, you magnify your weaknesses. Instead of cultivating your fire, you let it die out. This forgetfulness is dangerous, because the moment you forget who you are, you begin to accept limits that were never meant for you. You start living small, thinking small, and dreaming small. But deep down, you know there is more. You can feel it when you lie awake at night, sensing that your life was meant for greater purpose. You feel it when you see someone else achieve something you desire, and a spark of recognition lights up in you. That spark is proof of your potential. You wouldn't recognize greatness in others if it didn't already exist in you. The problem is not lack of power. The problem is lack of belief. When you forget your power, you become dependent on external validation. You wait for people to approve you before you move, for circumstances to align before you act, for opportunities to fall into your lap instead of creating them. And because life rarely gives easy approval, you remain stuck, telling yourself lies about what you can and cannot do. But when you remember your power, you stop waiting for permission. You move because you know what is inside you is bigger than the obstacles outside you. Think of the countless people who started with less than you, with fewer resources, with harder circumstances, and yet they rose. They rose not because life was easy, but because they remembered their strength and refused to give it away. The truth is, you already have what you need to begin. You may not have everything, but you have enough to start. And the moment you take that first step, life has a way of meeting you halfway, revealing doors that you could not see while you stood still. Forgetting your power leads to a wasted life because it convinces you to settle. It tells you that average is good enough, that survival is all you can hope for, that dreams are for other people. But remembering your power awakens the fire in your soul. It reminds you that you are not meant to just exist. You are meant to create, to build, to overcome, to inspire. Your power is not in what others think about you. It is in what you decide to believe about yourself. You must reclaim that truth. You must remind yourself daily that you were given this life for a reason. No one else has your exact gifts. No one else has your exact voice. No one else can fulfill the calling placed on your heart. To forget that is to waste the very essence of who you are. To remember, it is to step into the fullness of your destiny. Your power is still there, waiting to be recognized, waiting to be unleashed. And the moment you remember, your life will stop being wasted and start being lived. The clock has never stopped ticking. From the moment you took your first breath, time has been moving, whether you choose to move with it or not. And every second that passes is one you will never see again. Too many people waste their lives because they believe they have endless time, but the truth is, every breath is a reminder that your life is limited. Each sunrise is one day less in your journey, and yet many live as though the days are infinite. They put off action, delay purpose, and trade their time for things that will not matter tomorrow. The danger is not that time is running out. It always has been. The danger is that you are not using the time you still have. Think about it. How many times have you looked back and said, "Where did the time go?" The years slip away quietly, disguised as ordinary days, and before you know it, a decade has passed. The dreams you once had as a child, the ambitions that once burned in your heart, slowly fade because you never made them a priority. You thought you had more time, but the truth is, you didn't lose time, it kept moving. You simply failed to act while it was available. The power of recognizing that the clock is ticking is that it forces you to treat your life with urgency. Urgency does not mean panic. It means clarity. It means understanding that you cannot waste your days on meaningless distractions, empty conversations, or fear of failure. Urgency teaches you to value each moment, to invest your hours in growth, in love, in purpose, in building something that will outlast you. People who understand the weight of time do not waste it. They protect it, they direct it, and they multiply it by using it wisely. You don't have to do everything today, but you do have to do something. Even one small action, taken consistently, adds up to massive change over time. The tragedy is that most people don't take even the smallest step. They wait for the perfect conditions, they wait for motivation, they wait for someone else to push them. But the clock does not wait. While they wait, life moves on without them. And when they finally wake up to the reality, they are left with regret, wishing they had started sooner. Regret is one of the heaviest burdens a human can carry. It comes not from what you tried and failed, but from what you never tried at all. Nobody lies on their deathbed wishing they had spent more time on distractions, excuses, or fear. They wish they had spent more time living, more time loving, more time chasing their purpose. And the only way to avoid that regret is to live with the awareness that your time is precious and limited. The beauty of life, however, is that as long as you are breathing, it is not too late. You may have wasted years, but you don't have to waste today. You may have missed opportunities, but more will come if you are willing to act now. The ticking clock is not only a warning, it is also a gift. It reminds you that the story is not over yet. You still have a chance to write a different ending, to build a different future, to live a life that matters. You can keep wasting your days, or you can recognize that the clock is ticking and decide to make every moment count. The choice has always been yours. Time will pass either way, but what you do with it will determine whether your life was wasted or whether it was lived fully, with purpose and with meaning. Thanks for watching.